Good day, everybody, and good theater to you. This is On the Aisle with Rona Mann. We've been doing these regular once a week for the last month. There's a lot of great theater going on all over the state of Rhode Island and, for that matter, all over southern New England. Right now at the Granite Theater, right here in our little old hometown of Westerly, Rhode Island, is The Dining Room by A.R. Gurney. And this is quite the show. I would venture to guess it's probably a more different play than any you may have seen before. Very different. But different can be exciting. And in this show, we have, and I actually counted these, we have 18 individual scenes. We have 55 separate characters, not 55 actors. We have, and this is the exciting part, we have 8 talented actors who, throughout the course of a 2-hour afternoon or evening, play 55 different parts. But there's only one set, and it is a doozy. It is exactly what the name of the show says. It's The Dining Room. I'll begin by telling you, if you didn't see last week's Man About Town when we had the director and a couple of the actors here, it is a raked stage, meaning it's not flat. It's raked. It comes down on a slope. Sometimes you see that in theaters where the seats in the audience are raked from the first row all the way back. And what that does is give everybody a really good view. Well, this is a raked stage, and it's a terrific set. They have been doing some great sets for the last couple of years at the Granite. They've got a whole crew that gets together. Their painting crew, I think in the program, there's 7 people that painted the set. This is not high school anymore. This is the real deal. And right in the middle, as you would imagine, is a very large dining room table with matching chairs. It probably would bring you back. I would think if you are of a certain age, you could say, oh my God, that's just like where we would go to Aunt Harriet's on Thanksgiving. That's like my grandmother's. That's like ours. And that's the point of the whole show. Gurney covers 50 years, but the director, Russ Ekstrom, has kind of pulled it out so that you get 100 years of what's gone on in this country. And you see differences in people and in mores and in everything, in dress, and it's really very good. All right, I'm going to give you a tip if you haven't been, and this runs through May 10th. But if you have been, I want to give you a little homework that you can do right at the theater, right in your seat. Normally, when you go to a play, you get a program, and there's usually a message in there from the director. And it's always very nice, the director's note, blah, 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 blah. They talk a little bit about the play or how wonderful the actors are. Well, in this program, you have 2 messages. One from the director, one from the artistic director, Addison Rouse. And what I like about it is Addison's message is pertinent to this show. It's not the same artistic director's message that's going to run for the whole season. He did this specifically for this show. And I would suggest that while you're sitting and you're waiting before the play starts, take a minute and read both of them. They're not long, they're not deep, but if you can read them, then before the very first line is uttered, you're going to understand it very well. Otherwise, it could be a little confusing at the beginning till you get the hang of it. because you have two characters coming in. They have their scene in the dining room. They're just about exiting, and in comes someone else, but they don't acknowledge each other because they're not speaking to each other. It's that kind of a play. It moves. You won't fall asleep, I'll tell you that. Plenty of comedy within it. At intermission, and there is a good 15, 20-minute intermission, by all means, go downstairs, get a cold drink, get some water, get a beer, get a glass of wine, get some snacks, because every dollar helps this glorious theater continue what it's doing. But then get back in your seat and read those messages again. Now you're getting it. And I think you'll even appreciate the second act more than you did the first. Addison Rouse, in his message, calls the dining room table the anchor for the family. Wonderful phrasing. I know it was in my family. It was in so many people's families, but in different ways. Russ Ekstrom, the director, I think has the toughest job because you've heard the expression, it's like herding cats. 8 actors, 55 separate characters. This guy worked. And so did the ensemble of actors. Not only is he helping them find a voice and a personality for each of the characters, but there's the blocking, which is theatrical term for the movement. There's the blocking of this one coming in, this one going out, this one sitting, putting this person over here. Probably the biggest job is the costume changes, which are very frequent. 8 actors, 55 characters, 55 different costumes. Sometimes it's only a shawl or a hat. Other times it's a full costume. And thanks to those people who are backstage, the stage manager, 2 assistant stage managers, and the actors who all help each other, they make it every time. I didn't see once where somebody was running in and they were still buttoning up or zipping up. It was excellent. They did that so well. But the dining room itself and what happens in that dining room, I'm certainly not going to tell you all of the different scenarios, but I would say that somewhere in there, you're going to say, that's just like what we did. Or that happened in our family. Or darn it, if that wasn't like Thanksgiving every year, if that wasn't like a birthday party with the kids every year. Gurney was a brilliant playwright. He is now passed. He hailed from New England, I believe from the Hartford area. But he makes you part of an audience in that room with your own memories. You are sitting with your own memories, even though there's an audience of, and we were nearly sold out on Sunday, over 100 people. It's like you're alone with your own thoughts, your own memories. And I can promise you, if you go to the theater with someone, and most everyone does, when you leave and you go for a drink, dinner, late lunch, just get in the car and go home, you're going to be talking about this, and you'll be talking, if it's a family member or a close friend, that's what we did. Oh, really? Well, we did it this way. Each actor plays between 6 and 8 different parts, but you will not get confused. As I said earlier, they don't interact with each other so much. These are people you've met on the road to life. These are people from your family, from your work experience, from your social experiences. A lot of it is humor. There's a lot of laughs to this. Some of the people you meet are sad. A couple are confused. Some you know very well. some you don't want to know. It's too hard to break down every character, every actor, every performance, but I will tell you, the men seem to really have the strength here, and there are two men that I would like to note, Elias Beck and Kyle Ferreira. Both of them are veterans of Granite productions in the past, and they are seamless in their portrayals because you get the feeling with both these guys that they're not acting. They are getting their characters, they're getting inside them, and they are presenting them. Not saying, hey, look at me, I'm acting. And some of the others were doing that a little too much. There was what we in theater will call mugging, where you're almost looking at the audience saying, hey, look at me. Aren't I good? Aren't I doing this right? I think some of them need to tone it down just a bit. The backstage people, again, I have to mention the names. Costume designer Linda Allen, stage manager Rachel McGraw, and the two assistant stage managers, Cash Harenda, that's not Cash Patel, it's Cash Harenda, and Abby Cohen. They all need a very hearty round of applause because you don't really see them, but they are constantly back there doing the really hard work of getting one costume off, people back out, and then it's up to the 8 actors, and they are by and large very skilled chameleons when it comes to acting. A couple of more people I want to mention. Mark Diekman, he has, well, they all have a lot of characters, but he plays a little boy at the birthday party. I won't say any more than that, but Mark Diekman hasn't been a little boy for a long time, but he plays a little boy so well. Actually, the birthday party scene is great. They are all they're wearing these pointy birthday hats, and they've got those things that you blow on, and they're making noise, and they're just being obnoxious kids. And who hasn't seen that in their own family or at a family birthday party? And the other one that really got me, it was at the end of the first act, Vicki Blake, a beautifully sculptured, crafted, bittersweet performance as an older woman with cognitive issues who has been dragged to Thanksgiving dinner and told what to do, where to sit, and she doesn't even know who the people are at the table. It's very sad, and she does a beautiful, beautiful job where you say, yeah. As a matter of fact, at intermission, I was downstairs and I met someone from the backstage crew who said, it's a tough one for me to go through because somebody in my family is going through that right now. Please don't let that stop you from going. It should make you want to go, because for that, there are all the more laughs in it. So, bottom line, you going to like the dining room? I don't know you. I can't get inside your head, your memories and your emotions, but from now through May 10th, it's on Thursday through Sundays, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays at 7:30, Sunday matinees at 2. That's the one that sells out fast. And by the way, that final performance, Sunday, May 10th, is Mother's Day. And one of the actors who was here last week had a great idea. He said, what a wonderful way to spend Mother's Day. It would be. Go to brunch first or go to dinner after, but take Mom to this and let her tell you what her dining room table was like growing up. I think you're going to like this show a lot. It was a great choice, a very hard job for directors and actors, but we've got some great theater at the Granite. I'm Rona Mann. Thanks for being on the aisle with me. We'll have a break for a few weeks, and then it'll be the GAM for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Tennessee Williams at his best.